Hello students, so let us start this experiment number 4 for today. So today's experiments are slightly larger number, but they are all small programs. First one is decoder, next one is encoder without priority and with priority, and then we have multiplexer and demultiplexer. And you know that decoder is a circuit where it will take, let us say for a 3 to 8 decoder, it will take 3-bit inputs and it will produce the 8-bit output. In the case of a decoder, the input is a weighted binary code, whereas the output is a single bit output. Out of 8 bits, only one single bit will be asserted or it will remain 1. So in general, decoder is used along with the microcontroller and microprocessor circuits, where when the microcontroller has to select one particular device, maybe out of memory devices that are available or maybe out of the input output devices that are available, when microcontroller or microprocessor has to select one particular device, then it is useful to use the decoder where the microcontroller or microprocessor will give a 3-bit binary code, and at the output we will have one single bit as assertion or as logic 1. It can be logic 0 also, depending upon whether it is active high or active low, and by means of which what happens is, as the data bus is a shared data bus among all the peripherals, as only one bit goes high, so the microcontroller or the microprocessor along with that particular device which is selected, only they will be having a data exchange across the data bus, and all other devices will be in the high impedance mode. They will not be using the data bus as such. So for that matter, decoder can be used. And I can say that the decoder's output is used as a chip select pin for the other devices. So that is the use of decoder. Encoder is the reverse of decoder. In case of encoder, it is a 1-bit input. Out of 8 bits, let us say only 1 bit is asserted or it is high, and correspondingly encoder will produce a 3-bit weighted binary code. And the encoder again can be without priority and with priority. Without priority means at a time only one particular input can be high, and correspondingly output code will be generated, weighted binary code. With priority means in the case of, let us say, 8 bits, let us say the 5th bit is high, along with that let us say the 3rd bit is also high, then priority will be given to the 5th bit only. At that time all the preceding bits or the bits of the LSB side are going to be ignored, and it works like a don't care term with only one highest priority, whichever is the logic 1 at the MSB side, not at the LSB side. I'll tell you the use of this encoder when I run the simulation and show you the output. Next we have multiplexer and demultiplexer. Unlike encoder and decoder, multiplexer and demultiplexer are slightly different circuits, where multiplexer works as a select switch now. Out of the available inputs, based on the select input lines, only one of them can be passed to the output. So it is like, let us say we have 4:1 multiplexer, we will have a 2-bit select line, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Depending upon the select lines which we choose, out of those 4 inputs, any one will be available at the output. It is like a select switch. Demultiplexer is the reverse of that. So in this way, I have briefly told you the working functionality of these 4 circuits. Now let me proceed with the program. First, let us see the decoder's program, VHDL program. Library IEEE, use IEEE standard logic 1164. If you remember, in our ALU program, we had used another 2 library files, arithmetic file and unsigned file. whereas the decoder is a purely logic circuit, so we are using only one library file here. Entity decoder 3 to 8 is port A, it is input, standard logic vector 2 down to 0. We are working with the 3 to 8 decoder. So 3-bit inputs, 8-bit outputs. Then we have an enable pin for this decoder, means only when the enable is asserted, decoder will work, otherwise the decoder will not work. Then Y is output, standard logic vector 7 down to 0. This is the end of the entity. Now coming to architecture. Behavioral of decoder 3 to 8 is begin as we are describing the decoder in terms of the behavioral description. We are starting with the process here now. That means we are following the truth table of the decoder. We can write the program for a decoder using a data flow description also. That means for each output, we can derive a Boolean equation or Boolean logical expression in terms of the input bits. But those expressions are going to be quite lengthy. So even though decoder is a combinational circuit, we are writing its code in terms of a sequential execution, because this is easier than the data flow description here. That is the idea. However, as far as synthesis is concerned, it will not make any difference. As I had shown you in one of the earlier classes, we may write the code in data flow description or behavioral description or structural description. As far as the synthesis is concerned, there will be no difference, because ultimately synthesis is what? Mapping of the logic of the code into the available hardware which is there in the library. So it will not matter that way. That is why we have chosen the behavioral description, because writing code using a behavioral description is easier. So process A comma enable, this is the sensitivity list for this process. Whenever A changes or input changes, and whenever enable changes, the process is going to be executed. So this is the sensitivity list. Process begin, if enable is 1, then we are using a case statement. When 0, 0, 0, output is assigned with the 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Similarly, when 0, 0, 1, output is assigned with 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. In this way it goes on. For all the 8 input combinations, we have 8 outputs. Even though it is a single line, you can see there is a semicolon here. That semicolon is the delimiter. So it doesn't matter actually, even if in a single line 2 statements are present, logically they are correct only, compiler will not give any error. Now when others means if these 8 combinations are not present at the input, then Y is don't care here, all are unknown, X, 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 end case, else Y is assigned again with all unknown, because this else corresponds to this if. Then end process and end behavioral model of this decoder 3 to 8. So this is the VHDL program, and this is a test bench for VHDL program where we are giving 8 input combinations, each with the await statement of 100 nanoseconds. Next, let us come to Verilog program. Verilog is slightly a smaller code when compared to VHDL. Module decoder 3 to 8 enable comma A comma Y. Now this is port listing. As you know, in Verilog, whenever we initiate a module, all the input and output ports must be declared in the beginning itself, because this module can be utilized by another module also. So next, inputs are input enable and then input A, which is a vector, and this is a syntax error here. It is not 3:0. It has to be 2:0, because we are using a 3 to 8 decoder. This is a typo error here. Now output 7:0, 7 down to 0 we say in VHDL. 7:0 to be specific. Output is 8-bit, and we can declare output reg and 7:0 Y directly. Even though it is written in 2 lines here, we can write it directly. The reason is, in case of behavioral description, inside the always block, always the output variables or the LHS, not specifically output variables, the LHS has to be of type register. This was discussed in the theory class also. That is why this Y is declared as register and it is the output. Always at a comma enable. This is a sensitivity list. Begin if enable. If enable is asserted, then case A. Now A can have 8 cases. All the 8 cases are listed here. For 000, Y is assigned with 00000001 and that way it goes on. And default, Y is assigned with all unknowns. End case, if enable is not there, then also Y is all unknowns, then end and end module. This is the Verilog program and this is the test bench for the Verilog code and this is the simulation output. Let me show you the simulation output now by running this program. I am showing you the Xilinx code here now and you can see this is that decoder 3 to 8 code and the code I have taken. There was a typo error here, so I should make a correction now. It is 2:0. So you can see input is 3 bits, output is 8 bits, and I can write reg directly here also instead of having a separate line. Fine. So now this is the code. Let me check syntax. You are seeing a green tick mark there. That means syntax check is done. Now let us add the test vector by adding a new source. Verilog test fixture. Let me write it as decoder underscore test dot v. Let me give yes because it is existing because of the previous class, previous batch. So now we have this test bench and wherever it is showing add stimulus, let me add the stimulus which we have in the test bench code now. So to have more clarity, I can add indentation here. So even though the inputs are mixed up, it doesn't matter. We can verify later on. It is not exactly in the order of binary. It is 000, 100, 001, 101 like that it is. Let it be. So now let me check syntax, the test bench. And now let us simulate. So you can see the output here. Let me expand. You can see corresponding to 000. Initially, output was all X. When enable goes high, you can see 000 is corresponding to this 00000001. Then for 100, as it is not in sequence, you can see anyhow. For the sequence, we can go to 001. It is 000000010. Then 010, it is 100. And like that it goes on. 011, you can see. Then 100, you can see 0001, 0000, 101, then 110, then 111. So in this way, we have seen the output for the decoder. Now let me come back and let me go to the implementation, and here let us synthesize XST. Let me click on view RTL schematic. for this decoder code. So it has performed the synthesis now. Let us see the RTL schematic. You can see a block diagram here where it is a 3-bit input, 8-bit output with the enable pin. Let me double click and let me zoom in, where you can see it has selected one block called MRAM, and I cannot go in now because already in the RTL level it has got a block for a decoder, which means by default the library is having a block called decoder. Decoder is widely used in all electronic hardwares. So you can see that there are only buffers there and the enable pin is there. I cannot go further. Let us see the technology schematic. So block diagram is there. Now in the technology schematic, you can see it has produced LUTs now. There are 8 LUTs, each one corresponding to one input combination. As you know, LUT means lookup table. That means lookup table that is present inside the FPGA, which can be programmed by means of a bit file, and each lookup table can be implemented for one particular output functionality. As we have 8 inputs, it has generated 8 LUTs. Let me click on the first one. You can see this circuit. You can see what is this. This is now when input is here 0, this is 1. And when this is 0, this is 1. And when this is 0, this is 1. That means for the input combination 0, 0, 0, now output is becoming 1. In that way, it has created a logic for the very first input stream. Similarly, it is going to create a logic for all the others. You can see this combination now. Now this is now 0, 0, 1. So it is 0, 0, 1. Now when this is 0, this is 1, this is 1, output is 1. When this is 0, this is 1, 1, 1 is 1. So for the next input combination, it has created a logic circuit. Actually, this logic circuit will not be there inside the FPGA. Inside the FPGA, it is always the lookup table, where for the corresponding input, the output bits are stored in the lookup table. Accordingly, that is available. But it is showing the logic circuit only for the purpose of satisfying us, which means the Boolean expression is satisfied there. That is the meaning here. So correspondingly, we can see the hardware for all the other logics. You can see here. And for the last one, obviously, you can see this circuit where there are no inverters at all because it is 1, 1, 1, output is 1 there. So in this way, we have seen the decoders, simulation, and its synthesis. Now let me go to the next experiment, that is encoder. Now this is the synthesis output of the decoder which we have seen now. Let us go to the next experiment, that is encoder. First, let us see the encoder's VHDL program. Library IEEE, use standard logic 1164. Entity encoder 823 is A is the input, 8-bit input, enable is a single bit, output is 3-bit, and then architecture begin process A comma enable. This is the sensitivity list. Begin if enable is 1, then case A is if input is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, output is assigned with 0, 0, 0. Otherwise, when input is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, output is assigned with 0, 0, 1. In this way, it goes on till the last sequence. and then others, because you can see here as input is 8 bits, there can be 2 power 8 combinations, right? Out of these 2 power 8 combinations, we are actually using only 8 combinations. 2 power 8 is 256, right? So out of 256 combinations, we are using only 8 combinations. For all other combinations of the input, y has to be xxx or unknown. Then end case else means if enable is 0, then also y is xxx. So in this way, we have seen this VHDL program for encoder. Now this is the test bench. All the 8 test cases are there, each with the 102nd weight. Let us see the Verilog program now. Module encoder 8 underscore 3 enable AY. This is the port list. Input is enable. Input is 8-bit A. Output is 3-bit Y, and that is register. Always at A comma enable. Begin if enable is then case A. If input is 8 bits binary 00000001, Y output is assigned with 3 bits binary 000. So out of 8 combinations, otherwise default Y is assigned with 3 bits unknown. End case else, that means if enable is 0, Y is assigned with 3-bit unknown. You can see here they have put capital Y, here it is small y, but it doesn't matter here because, does it matter? It really matters, right? Verilog is case sensitive. So this is going to result in a syntax error if you copy the code as it is directly. Anyway, let me take this program now, Verilog program, and let me copy it into my code. Let me close all this. Let me close this test bench also. And we don't want this simulation window also. In the same file, decoder file, in the same project, let me copy this code. So, for curiosity, let us keep it as it is, okay? This is a small y, this is a capital Y. Let me keep it as it is and let me try to compile it. Let me remove this test bench which was for the previous program. So now, let me save this. See, it has changed the module name. Module name here is encoder 8, 3, even though the file is the same previous file. See, it is showing the error line 18, Y is not declared because it is capital Y. So I should make a correction here, small y. Verilog is case sensitive. So I have saved it. Let me check syntax once again. Now let me add the test bench, new source, Verilog test fixture, and let me write it as encoder test.v. It has created a test bench file now. Let me add the stimuli here. There is a typo error again here. You can see I'll have to remove 1 0 there. So now it is all right. Right from the LSB1 till the MSB1, all the input combinations are there. Let me save it. And Let me check syntax this once again. Let us simulate. So you can see the output here. When enable goes high, initially it is all zeros. That is because the test bench in general directly resets. You can see here enable 0A is 0, initialize the inputs. So test bench automatically makes everything 0 in the beginning. That's what you are seeing here. Now later on we have given the input as 000000001, for which it is producing the output 000. In that way it goes on. Now in this case, as our inputs are in sequence, we can go on up to 10000000. Correspondingly output is 111. In this way I am showing you the simulated output. Let me come back and let us synthesize. RTL schematic. Encoder, you can see 8-bit input, 3-bit output, and one enable pin input. And when I click on that, you can see it has taken some other blocks. In fact, we are not familiar with these blocks. All these blocks are already present inside the library, so that it has taken. But for each block, you can see some particular circuit there. Let me zoom in. You can see all the 4 are negated inputs. Here 3 are negated inputs and correspondingly 1 AND gate. Similarly, you can see it has got all these blocks inside. So this is the RTL schematic. It is mapping with the register elements and correspondingly it is showing the output. We will not try to understand this in detail because it is mapping it to some block that is present inside the library. So let me now come back to technology schematic. Double click. Now you can see it has these many LUTs here. And let me click on the first LUT. You can see a much larger circuit diagram here. We will not try to understand the logic behind this. Okay. What it has done is corresponding to a particular input sequence, it has to produce a particular output, right? So LUT can be easily programmed using the input output sequences. But it is automatically deriving the Boolean expression corresponding to that encoder's input and output. And the Boolean expression will be actually much larger expression. That's why I told you writing a code in the behavioral style is easier when compared to the data flow style. If at all we have to write this code using a data flow description, for each output bit, we will have to have a lengthy Boolean expression. That is why even though encoder also is a combinational circuit, we are writing the code in terms of the behavioral description. So that way you can see the circuit for other LUTs also, all are much larger circuits. You can see all these. Now coming to the fourth one, this is a smaller one. Again, fifth one is a smaller one. Sixth one is a smaller one. So it is combining all these things along with other 3 LUTs and correspondingly it is producing the output. Now you may wonder that we have 8 input sequences, whereas we have only 6 LUTs here. No, actually we have 256 input sequences, right? Input is 8 bits, so 2 power 8 is 256 input sequences. It is not just 8. And let us not bother about why it is creating only 6 LUTs there. That is the internal mechanism that is happening inside the synthesis tool. That's why I keep telling that synthesis tool is much more powerful than the simulator tool. The simulator tool is only for verifying the functionality, whereas synthesis tool is the one which is actually going to be useful to us in generating the hardware. Hardware is right now in terms of LUTs. It is not actually in terms of this large circuit. You don't have to worry that such a large circuit isn't going to be generated inside the FPGA. No. Inside the LUT, it is like a memory element where we are saving a corresponding output bit for the corresponding input stream. And that is going to be available at the output. It is not that inside the LUT such a large circuit is going to be generated. No. That is the flexibility of FPGA. But it is showing the circuit only to satisfy the Boolean expression that it is being satisfied. So this is how we have seen the encoder's hardware. Now let me close this. Now let us come to the next program. This is the output which we have seen already. This is the synthesis output which we have seen already. Let us come to the priority encoder now. In the case of this priority encoder, let us see the VHDL code first. Library, IEEE, use, standard logic 1164, entity, priority encoder is, again, inputs and outputs are going to be same. But in the architecture, you can see, we are having this architecture behavioral priority encoder is, we cannot easily write a case statement now. Because now we don't have just 8 inputs to check. We will have much more inputs to check. That is because this is now working as a priority. I'll tell you later on about it in detail. First, let us see the logic behind this program. Process A, enable, begin. If A of 7 is 1, then Y is 1, 1, 1. You can understand the statement. A of 7 is the MSB. If MSB is 1, then even if all others are 1 also or 0 also, it does not matter. Now Y is assigned with 1, 1, 1. You can see this particular line else if, ELSIF. In VHDL, ELSIF is different from ELSIE space IF. VHDL has got these two constructs which can be handy or which can be useful at times. So in the priority encoder, as we are checking for only A of 7, then A of 6, then A of 5, then A of 4, we can have a nested if here. That means if then, else if then, else if then, else if then. In that way, we can write a program in VHDL. If at all we write ELSE with space and with if, then that becomes a separate if statement. There is a difference between ELSIF and ELSE space IF. Here this ELSIF is within the first if itself. That is the speciality which is there in VHDL. This is not there in Verilog. In Verilog we write if, else, if, else, if. In that way we go on. That's why I told you ELSIF is different from ELSE space IF. So you can see if A of 7 is 1, then output is 1, 1, 1. Else if A of 6 is 1, then output is 1, 1, 0. Means even if A of 5 or A of 4, A of 3, even if they are 1 or 0 also, it does not matter here. Now this is the logic behind priority encoder. This is especially useful in the case of the microprocessors and microcontrollers for interrupt handling. You are going to study about all these things in detail in the next semester. Let me briefly tell you about interrupt handling. Let us say at your home, there is a water tap that is leaking. Now that is an interrupt that is happening to your regular process. You will have to go there and you will have to turn off the tap, or you will have to take some other adequate measure to repair the tap. Now that is one interrupt that is happening in your daily process. Now let us say there is a water tap that is also leaking, and at the same time you are smelling gas leak also in the kitchen. Now which is more priority? Gas leak is now more priority because that can be dangerous. Water leaking can be repaired later on also, it can be addressed later on also. That means you have a priority interrupt now. Gas leak is of top priority when compared to the water leaking. In the same way, in our microprocessor and microcontroller circuits, there are prioritized interrupts and there are maskable interrupts, there are non-maskable interrupts, there are many types of interrupts. Otherwise, what is the CPU? CPU and memory, basically a mechanical machine, right? It is basically a mechanical electronic machine, I should say. Because it is nothing but fetching, decoding, executing, fetching, decoding, executing the instructions one after the other. Those who have already worked with the Arduino kits, you know that inside the Arduino kit there is a microcontroller belonging to maybe Atmega family from the company called Atmel. And basically what is a microcontroller? It is continuously checking through the memory for instruction and data and keeps on processing each and every instruction. Now any input change that is occurring is an interrupt there. Accordingly, based on the priority that is applied to the input, a particular interrupt can be serviced. There are programs called ISR, interrupt service routines, inside the microcontroller. And interrupt service routines are written by the programmer himself or herself. That means if you are programming the Arduino, then for each input combination, you are going to write a code, right? So even you would have written a code in C language. Internally, there is something called assembly language. You are going to learn about it in the next semester. Ultimately, it is machine language which is working inside. It is a streams of zeros and ones ultimately inside the microcontroller. So this priority encoder can be made use of for handling the interrupts. Means you can say that if A of 7 is of the highest priority now, and A of 0 will be the least priority now. In this way, you can see all these else if statements. Otherwise, Y is assigned with the XXX, then it's and if, and process and behavioral. This is the corresponding test bench. Here you can see there is 0001, 0111 also here. You can see there are multiple ones here. 1000 here also you can see one. There are these typo errors here. There are more number of lines, more number of bits here. Let us correct it when we run the simulation. Let us see the Verilog code now for priority encoder. Module priority encoder, enable AY, input enable, input A, output Y, output register, and always at A, N, enable, begin. If enable is 1, you can see the difference between Verilog and VHDL here. In Verilog, this is now the equality operator. Otherwise, if it was single equals, then it was actually a assignment operator, right? So now this is the equality operator. If enable is 1, begin. If A of 7 equals 1, then Y is assigned with the 3 bits binary 111. Else space if. In Verilog there is no ELSIF. If A of 6 equals 1, Y is assigned with 3B110. In this way it goes on till A of 0. You can see all these are nested if statements. Because there can be multiple input combinations now, unlike our previous encoder. Finally, for this if there is this end, if enable equals 1, otherwise else Y is again XXS and module. This is the corresponding test bench. And let us simulate this and see the output. This is for priority encoder. Let me copy this in the same file. Let me remove this test bench and let me save this file. Now you can see it has the module name has changed, file I am using the same file. That was because of the network error. Oh, I am unable to share the content now. My share option is not coming. So I'll have to leave the meeting and join again. So let me share. I think now it is visible to you. So its syntax check is done. Let us add the test bench now. Let me give the name. Why don't we use the same name? What we will do is we will use that encoder test. Only thing is stimulus we will change. No, modules are different. So let us create a new test bench. As module name is different, let us not make ourselves confused. So here let us add the stimulus. You can see here there's a typo error. Let me remove this. So now you can see in this particular third stimulus and in the sixth stimulus and in the last stimulus, you can see purposefully there are additional ones. That is, it is purposefully put there. Here MSB is also one, but other bits are also one. Still, because we have this priority encoder now, it will work in that way only. Let me save this and let us check syntax once again. And let me simulate. So you can see here, when we have given this MSB here 1 1, then we have given this 1 0 0. Corresponding to the next sequence, see 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 is there. Corresponding, it must have been 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. But we had purposefully given the MSB side also 1. So you can see the output is now 1 1 1. Similarly, for the last one also 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 0, output is 1 1 1. And here you can say 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 0. Still output is 1 0 1 corresponding to the 0 0 1. Okay, in this way the priority encoder is working. Now let me quickly show you synthesis output. Here you can see for the priority encoder, the RTL schematic is different. Why? And I cannot go into the block. Let me show you one only. It is basically a multiplexer inside. And why the RTL schematic now is different from the previous one? Because it is not just the 8 combinations. It is much more than that. That is why the RTL output is different. Similarly, let us see the technology schematic. In the technology schematic, you can see different types of LUTs now. Unlike earlier, we saw 6 LUT. Now we are seeing only 4 LUT with lot of buffers and lot of other connections. Let me click on this LUT. You can see this particular logic there. And on the other LUTs, you can see this logic. As now there are a lot of don't care terms, it is creating a different hardware now. Now, as far as the logics are concerned, you can see this is a simpler logic when compared to the previous encoder. That means there are a lot of other don't care terms. So this is how the synthesis tool is working. So with that, we have discussed decoder, then encoder, then priority encoder. Let me come to the last 2 programs. These are small programs, and as you are already familiar with the multiplexer and demultiplexer, I will not go into much deeper details of its working. Let me go to the program directly, VHDL program, library, then use standard logic 1164, entity muxes. There are 4 input ports now, I3, I2, I1, I0. Now, as you know, mux works like a selector switch. So out of these 4 inputs, any one is available at the output. And correspondingly, for selecting 4 inputs, we need 2-bit select lines. So the select is in standard logic vector 1 down to 0. That is 1:0. That is only 2 select lines. Then Y is out standard logic. Y is a single line. Then end multiplexer architecture M1 of mux is begin process. Now you can see in the sensitivity list we have these 5 lines. I0, I1, I2, I3. Then we have select. Actually, select is what? Select is a vector here. Actually, it is 6 lines in this case. So begin case select is when case is 0 0, Y is assigned with I0. You can see this now. Y will not be having a particular state of the bit, but it is again 0 and 1 only. Y can be either 0 and 1, but we don't know the state of I0. I0 can be 0, I0 can be 1 also, right? Or I0 can be X also, I0 can be Z also. In Verilog, there can be 4 states. So that is how multiplexer is like a selector now. When select line is 0, 0, Y is assigned with I0. Next case it is I1, next case is I2, next case is I3. When others means what? If the select lines are neither 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, even select lines can be XX or ZZ or X1 or 0Z, something like that. In all those cases, Y is assigned with unknown. Then end case, end process, and end the architecture. So the test bench code for VHDL is we can give values for I3 and I2, any values we can give, either 1 or 0. We can have multiple combinations of binary values now for these I3, I2, I1 and I0. In fact, there can be 16 combinations, right? From 0, 0, 0, 0 till 1, 1, 1, 1. We can have 16 combinations. Here we have given only a particular set of inputs. And we are giving different select lines, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and waiting for each stimulus. Let me proceed with the Verilog program now. Verilog program is smaller than the VHDL program now. So module mux4 underscore 1, I0, I1, I2, I3, select and Y. I0, I1, I2, I3 are 4 input lines. Select is a 2-bit vector. Output reg Y. And always at I0, I1, I2, I3 and select, because this is the sensitivity list. Whenever any of these change, always block is going to be executed. Begin case select. If it is 0, 0, Y is I0, then I1, then I2, then I3, end case, and then end module. Let me copy this code into our Xilinx ISE. Let me save this. You can see the module name has changed and check syntax. Let me remove this test bench. So let us add a test bench now, new source, Verilog test fixture. Let me give mux underscore test.v. For the previous batch, I had run this program, so it is asking, should I replace? We are replacing it. Now let me take the test vectors. So I have copied the test vectors here. Save it. Now let us check syntax. In general, whenever we have a test bench, it will ask for check syntax once again, just to verify whether the code and the test bench are compatible with each other. Now I am simulating the code. You can see now corresponding to 0, 0. Input is supposed to be I0. I0 is 0 now. So you can see Y is 0 here. Now corresponding to 0, 1. Here again you can see 0, 0. I0 is still 0, even though I1 has become 1. Now corresponding to 0, 1, again output is 0 because now I1 is 0. Corresponding to 1, 0, output has remained 0 because I2 is 0. Corresponding to 1, 1, now Y is 0 because I3 is 0. But later on you can see corresponding to 0, 0, now as I0 has become 1, output has become 1. And we have retained at 0, 0 only till the end of the simulation timings. So output has remained 1. In this way, for the select lines, it is going to connect the particular input to the output and whatever is the value which particular input is having, that will be reflected in the output. Now this is the simulation output. Let us synthesize this. Now this is the block diagram. You can see multiplexer with 4 individual input lines, and select is a vector, 2-bit vector. Output is a single line once again. Now you can see that in the RTL schematic also it is showing one mux itself, because this 4:1 multiplexer is by default present inside the FPGA. I have been telling you even in the theory classes that FPGA contains lot of multiplexers and lookup tables, and it is going to implement the functionality basically using these 2 elements. So as it is directly having the multiplexer, it is showing that. Let us see the technology schematic now. In the technology schematic, again you are going to see LUTs. You can see these many buffers with one single LUT. And all these buffers are different inputs. These are the 4 inputs, and you can see the select line here. And now this is the LUT which it has implemented for the multiplexer. Of course, we are not interested in the Boolean expression here. It is showing the expression as per the data flow style of description. So this is with the multiplexer. Let me come to the last program, that is demultiplexer. We have already seen the simulation now. Demultiplexer, let me discuss the VHDL program. Library IEEE, use stdlogic 1164.all. Entity demux is. Now port DIN input standard logic. As you know, decoder is the reverse of, demultiplexer is the reverse of multiplexer, where input is now 1, where output is now 4. Select lines are again 2 bits, but output is now 4. You can see output is a vector 3 down to 0. That means that single input can be available out of the 4 output lines now, depending upon the select lines. Architecture DM1 of demux is begin process.
Shouldn't select line be declared as input?
Come again, Lokesh?
The select line, only the type is declared standard logic vector. In should also be written.
Oh, yeah. This is a typo error here. In the lab manual, it's a typo error. While simulating, we have to correct it now. Okay. As the department is working in multiple levels, someone produces a lab manual, someone will use it. That is happening that way. Anyway, during simulation, we have to add that in there. Okay. So I'm happy that you are attending the class and you are observing these errors also. Fine. Let me continue now. Architecture DM1 process. Now case select is when it is 0, 0. Now you see we have 4 output lines, and we will have to assign values for all the 4 now. We can't leave them blank. So when input is 0, 0, D of 0 is D in. Otherwise, D of 1, D of 2, D of 3, they are all unknown. Similarly, when 0, 1, D of 1 is D in. All others are unknown. And it goes on like this till the end. End case, end process, and end the architecture. This is in the case of VHDL, and this is the test bench. We can give D in as 1. Later on, we can give D in as 0, again as 0, again as 0. We can keep changing in our simulation cycle. And we can give all the 4 select inputs. Let us discuss the Verilog program now. Module demux I select y3, y2, y1, y0. Input I. Input 1 is to 0. Here at least they have declared select as input now. So input 1 is to 0. Anyhow, I'm going to show you the Verilog output only. Whenever you execute the VHDL, you should be careful here. You should add that select in here. Okay. Now, input 2 bits select line, output is all 4 Y3, Y2, Y1, Y0 single output lines. They are all registers. We can declare in a single line also. And always at I comma select. This is the sensitivity list. Begin case select. If case is 0, 0, then in Verilog we should have one more begin and end because we have no 4 conditions here. In VHDL, we use the case statement in this way. Okay, this also can be written in a single line also. And here they have shown it in a single line here. This can be split into multiple lines also. It does not matter because semicolon is the separator or delimiter here. So case select, when input is 0, 0 begin. Y0 is I, Y1 is X, Y2 is X, Y3 is X. Otherwise, if case is 0, 1, then Y0 is X, Y1 is I, Y2 is X, Y3 is X. In that way it goes on. Default, all of them are X. End case, end module. And this is the test bench. Let me copy this code to our ISE. Let me close the other window. So this is the code which I have copied from our lab manual. Let it be this way. This after begin there is no semicolon. After end there is no semicolon. That is with the Verilog. So now it is clear for 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 we are having all these combinations. Now let me save this. Check syntax. It is showing one error. Line 12 begin Y0. Line 12. Yeah, here there must be a space. Here also there must be a space. So you can easily verify. Whenever the keywords are detected by the compiler, it will make the color blue. Otherwise, there will be a syntax error there. So let me remove this test bench and demux. Check syntax. Now it is fine. Now let us have a test bench for this. New source, test fixture, demux underscore test dot v. Let me add stimulus now. So here I is given as 1, input is given as 1 here, then all select lines are given. Even though space is given or space is not given, it does not matter here. Let me save this and let us check syntax, the test bench. Then let us simulate. You can see the output here now. See, when it is 0, 0. In the beginning, when it is 0, 0, I is 0. So Y0 is 0. And again, when it is 0, 0 again, I has become 1 later on, right? Initially, I was 0. That was done by the test bench program itself. I'll show you here. See, Initialize inputs, I is 0, select is 0. That means by default, the test bench value is given as 0, 0 and I is 0. That is what is shown here. That is what is shown here now. Next, it is input is select lines are 0, 0. I is 1 and Y0 has become 1. At that time, all others are X. The simulator shows different colors for the logic states. Now, if it is X, it is showing this red color. That is what is given in the code also, right? We had declared it as X only for other output lines. So accordingly, when it is 0, 1, you can see Y0 has become X and Y1 has become 1. Similarly for 1, 0, similarly for 1, 1. Everywhere we have kept I as 1 only now. If you want, you can change the value of I also, the same will get reflected here. If at all you make it as 0, the 0 will get reflected here. Now this is the simulated output. Let me close this and let us see the synthesis output. Let me come to implementation, RTL schematic. So select line is 2 bits here, and this is the input line, single one, 4 output lines. RTL schematic. Now see, it is not going one level down also, because as mux is present in this library, dmux is also present in this library. It is a direct RTL hardware there. Let us go to technology schematic. In the technology schematic, you can see it has got just 4 buffers. Along with this single line, it has got different 4 buffers. And depending upon the select line, a particular buffer is going to be selected. That's all. There is no other logic at all here. But that switching is there. That switching is not shown here in the technology schematic. You can see it is not showing any other further hardware. It is showing only buffers here. That means it has understood this dmux in this way. Okay, what happened? Something happened here. Anyway, now I have shown you both outputs, RTL as well as technology schematic. And with this, I have come to the end of today's experiment. These are the simulation output results that are shown on the window, and this is the dmux hardware shown. In this way, we have completed decoder, encoder with priority, multiplexer and demultiplexer, and we have verified. In simulation, we have seen the synthesis hardware also. So I'm going to end this meeting now. Meeting is not going to be ending. I will be going to mute mode. Meeting will be on. You write today's observation book and upload into the Google class where I have created one assignment for today. And I'll be posting the attendance link now. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask me. What happened? Just a minute. Oh, I did not select this. Copy. Okay, I have posted the attendance link now. As there are no more questions, I'll mute myself and I'll stop recording also.